to recognize Pakistan after its independence back in 1947. In 1951, the two nations signed a treaty of friendship that laid the foundation for decades of strategic, political, military and economic cooperation. That relationship has now been taken one step forward. There is a strategic military agreement now, one that also encompasses Pakistan's nuclear arsenal. So what are the contours of that deal? Is there a reason for India, for West Asia, for Israel to worry? And what may be the larger implications of this particular deal? Here's a deep dive. Pakistan and Saudi Arabia have signed a major mutual defense agreement. It's a move that significantly strengthens a decades-long security partnership amid heightened regional tensions. The deal, titled Strategic Mutual Defense Agreement, was signed by Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and Pakistan's Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif in Riyadh. It declares that any attack on either country will be treated as an attack on both. The two countries have had long-standing military, financial and strategic ties, and this deal only elevates that into a formal treaty-like framework. But the most significant aspect of this agreement is that it legally allows Pakistan's nuclear arsenal to be considered in the defense of Saudi Arabia if required. That underscores the seriousness of the alliance, but it also raises questions over potential regional consequences. Until now, much of Pakistan-Saudi defense cooperation has been informal or through collaborative training and funding. This pact makes it legally more concrete that an attack on one is an attack on both. That raises stakes in the regional security dynamics as well. With rising tensions in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia is looking to diversify its security partnerships, and this pact with Pakistan is a signal of seeking partners beyond traditional ones. The nuclear implications are worrisome because Pakistan is a nuclear-armed state. The arrangement raises questions about how nuclear deterrence might be implicated. Would Pakistan extend its nuclear umbrella to Saudi Arabia under certain conditions or all? Even if this is not explicitly stated, the potential has keeping many regional powers on tenterhooks. India is also keeping a close watch. In fact, Ministry of External Affairs has said that New Delhi remains committed to protecting India's national interests and ensuring comprehensive national security in all domains. The statement asserts that India will study the implications of this development for not just our security, but also for regional and global stability. This agreement is significant as it comes at a time when relations between India and Pakistan have nosedived in the aftermath of the Pahalgam terror attack and India's counter-strike Operation Sindoor. The deal between Saudi and Pakistan adds new pressures on deterrence. It could force India to rethink its no-first-use stance and speed up arsenal upgrades. A more emboldened Pakistan could tilt scales during regional disputes. But that confidence in the Pakistani establishment could be misplaced. Many geopolitical analysts believe that this agreement doesn't mean that Saudi Arabia would go to war with India for Pakistan. The reality on ground is very different, and so is the timing of the announcement. Wary of the optics surrounding this pact, Saudi Arabia, in fact, was quick to delink it from its ties with India, which it said were more robust than ever in the recent years. Saudi Arabia has tried to position itself as a balance between India and Pakistan. Under Narendra Modi's prime ministership, bilateral engagement between New Delhi and Riyadh have been seen steady progress. Saudi Arabia has strongly condemned the terror attack in Pahalgam during Prime Minister Modi's state visit to Riyadh in April this year. Economic ties too between the two countries have been strengthened. India is now the second largest trading partner for Saudi Arabia, and Riyadh is New Delhi's fourth largest. In the financial year of 2024-25, bilateral trade stood at $41.88 billion. On the other hand, the trade between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia is barely $3 to $4 billion. India also imports 18 to 20% of its crude oil from Saudi Arabia. It's unlikely that Saudi will jeopardize that math and lose a big market like India. While Islamabad likely sees this pact as a strategic deterrence against India, the timing of the agreement appears to be more of a signal to Netanyahu. Israel, which is Middle East's only acknowledged nuclear power, launched a military offensive on Hamas in Doha just a few days ago. And now, with a nuclear-armed Pakistan in Saudi's corner, it does arm regional powers in West Asia. A deal between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan, the only Islamic nation with nukes, carries symbolic weight. Even if the message is not explicit, it creates a psychological deterrence for Saudi against Israel and Iran alike. For them, it's a message that says, we may not have a bomb, but my friend does. It also shows that Riyadh is hedging and not moving fully into a US-Israel security orbit. Dr. Wael Awad, the senior journalist, is joining us on the broadcast. So thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. Just to put this in context for our viewers, the timing of it is significant. Of course, it comes at a time when India, Pakistan are also locked in a bitter battle, both militarily and diplomatically, after the Pahalgam attack and Operation Sindoor. And we're seeing the kind of aggression coming in from Israel in West Asia.
Well, I think it's too early to judge what sort of an agreement have been signed between the two countries. But having said that, I would say that the geopolitical changes taking place in the region have maybe forcing many of the GCC countries to find an alternative to the United States because they lost the trust in the United States. You remember that the GCC US considered the GCC as a custodian of its own, so the protection, and they have been collecting all the money from the countries there for the main protection of their security. But now, after the Israeli attack on Qatar, I think most of the country felt they are more vulnerable and looking for an alternative. And we have known that the relation between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan have been strong for long, and many of the army of Pakistan used to protect the monarch of Saudi Arabia and have been stationed in Saudi Arabia for decades. So this relation is not new, but the new angle to it that in case of any attack on each country, that could be an attack on the other country, is a new phenomenon, because I think what Saudi Arabia is looking here is for a nuclear shield from Pakistan and not for the traditional kind of a coverage.
And that is going to be significant, isn't it? Pakistan is a nuclear-armed state, and within that entire region, Israel is the only one that is an openly acknowledged nuclear-armed state.
Absolutely, and I think that is where the Saudi feel that they can get some access. But being the nuclear weapon is just a deterrence. It cannot be a traditional war. It's just an eyewash. I don't think it has much implication on the future of any things to do with the Saudi government, because if attack comes from Israel, remember the Israelis saying that it's a greater Israel, which included from Euphrates to Nile, which will take the Sinai Peninsula, Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, Palestine, Iraq, and 1/3 of Saudi Arabia. If that is the plan of the right-wing parties in Israel, then Saudi Arabia is at the receiving end.
And speaking in India's context, it's not that Islamabad or Rawalpindi may want to see this as deterrence or giving them an edge against India. But the ties between India and Saudi Arabia are also at a place where we've seen much progress happen. So I'm sure within the Saudi administration as well, within the royal family, the sense is that they cannot jeopardize ties with India just because Pakistan gets this sense of confidence.
Absolutely not. I don't think Saudi Arabia is ready to risk its relation with India. Remember that Saudi is looking for the total investment of more than $200 billion into the Indian economy. And they have been pledged lots of time that they will be doing so and acting east. And secondly, remember, even in certain areas where India and Pakistan went into a conflict or a dispute, Saudi Arabia have changed a lot in their position toward India. So there are lots of lenience and bending down to the Indian point of view. When it comes to the security and of the monarch, I think that's the only issue for them.
Speaking of which, then, as far as West Asia is concerned and the kind of conditions that we've seen there, do you then see this sort of as a tactical shift also away from the US orbit? Many of these countries, are, even like Saudi Arabia, are dependent on the United States for their defense, for their arms.
Well, if that is what the issue is all about, America is losing its credibility internationally and regionally because of the blind support to the Israeli aggression against the Palestinians. And that's why they've been isolated diplomatically as well. So as long as the United States does not address the issue of security of their own partners in the region, I think they will face lots of difficulty and resentment among these capitals, especially the Gulf country, where they have invested so much of money in the American administration. And remember when Trump, when he came to the region, he carried out with him $4.5 trillion. And that money that he wanted to give the protection, and he was putting his finger toward Iran, that Iran is the threat to the Gulf country. But here you go. When it comes to Israel, he gave the carte blanche, and he gave immediately no remorse of his, even reprimanding Netanyahu for attacking a sovereign nation, which was against the international law.
And which is why we sort of see this regrouping perhaps as well, which is why we saw the Islamic nations also hold that emergency meeting that the Qatari Prime Minister hosted a couple of days ago.
Absolutely. That is why most of the country now are losing trust, as I said, in the United States. And Mr. Trump has making America more isolated. Even his policy of America first is backfiring at his own policy.
We're getting some breaking news here on the right stand. India's mission Sudarshan Chakra is getting going. The wheels have been set in motion is what we're given to understand. Remember, this was announced by the Prime Minister from the ramparts of the Red Fort on Independence Day. A presentation was made before the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. As far as a committee is being concerned, that's being formed that will come up with a realistic ambit of how this is going to come up. That's what we're gathering as far as India's air defense system, an iron dome-like system, the Sudarshan Chakra, is concerned. Remember, the Prime Minister had made it clear that India's indigenous air defense capabilities have to be robust. They have to shift from desirable to necessary, and that's why the Sudarshan Chakra plan or mission was announced by the Prime Minister during his Independence Day speech. Aman, my colleague, now joins us, getting us the latest inputs on this. Of course, this exclusive information that we've been able to gather for you. Aman, we're given to understand that the ball is in motion now, and it is a phase-wise implementation that we are going to be seeing.
Yes, Poonam, mission Sudarshan Chakra is very much in motion. The first presentation on this mega project has been made before Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. That is what top government sources are telling us. In fact, the Defence Minister has set up a top-notch committee to take forward the mission Sudarshan Chakra, how it will be implemented. A committee has been set up, and this issue, Poonam, was also discussed at the recent Commanders Conference which happened in Kolkata, where the Prime Minister was present and the Defence Minister, the CDS and all the service chiefs was present. The mission of the government is to fast-track this process, and what we are learning that all vital installations, including the ISRO complex, for example, all our nuclear power plants, everything like this, including the borders, will be covered by this mission Sudarshan Chakra, a big iron dome which India is planning to build by 2035 using indigenous technology. And that is the direction. It will happen phase-wise. The more important installations will see this, coming in much earlier than the others, and there will be a phase-wise rollout of mission Sudarshan Chakra. But a very, very important mission, because after the learnings of Operation Sindoor, what happened during Operation Sindoor, when India was able to foil any major projectile fired through Pakistan, be it missiles or be it these drones, India doesn't want to take any chances in the future. Not just the Pakistan border, even around coastal areas will be covered by mission Sudarshan Chakra, and even, as I said, the vital installations, be it ISRO, be it our nuclear power plants, be it the military bases in various parts of the country, all of them will get covered by this mission Sudarshan Chakra. The big announcement, of course, was made by the Prime Minister from the ramparts of the Red Fort on August 15 that the deadline has been fixed to complete this project by 2035 using indigenous technology. But the work has already begun. Presentation made before Rajnath Singh. A committee has been set up. In the next few days, we could see maybe in the next year or so the first rollout of mission Sudarshan Chakra.
Aman, what we also learnt is what Rajnath Singh did say at that commanders conference that you were talking about, that there is a 10-year timeline that is set by the Prime Minister himself, that by 2035 we'll have this mission Sudarshan Chakra complete. But there is going to be a 5-year plan as well?
Well, yes, it will be a phase-wise plan, Poonam. That is what top government sources are telling us. The more important areas, be it the, I would say, the LSC and the LOC and the IB with Pakistan, the LSC with China, or be it our very vital installations, because we have seen in recent global scenarios also that vital installations become a target, be it the nuclear power plants we've seen being targeted in Iran, for example, or be it ISRO, which is also seen as a very strategic, important organization for us. All these organizations will get covered by mission Sudarshan Chakra. Rajnath Singh spoke about this at the Commanders Conference, also giving some contours, but this is now the information that we're getting, that he's already seen a presentation on this issue, and it's also set up a committee to take this mission forward with a realistic ambit, because of course, Poonam, the cost of this whole mission is also going to be a very, very big one. To put an iron dome at all our borders will take some time, take a huge cost, but India wants to do it through indigenous weapon systems, and that is what the directive of the Prime Minister is, on which the Defence Ministry has already started work.
Right, Aman, thank you so much for getting us that exclusive. Shifting focus now, Rahul Gandhi has launched a sharp attack on the Election Commission, specifically on the Chief Election Commissioner Gyanesh Kumar. This was part 2 of what they call their expose of vote chori. The EC is a vote chori factory, is what Rahul Gandhi alleged. He in fact accused the CEC of siding with forces undermining Indian democracy and shielding those that he claimed were involved in voter theft. The leader of opposition cited 2 constituencies, one in Karnataka and one in Maharashtra. The one in Karnataka, Aland, where he alleged that a targeted attempt was made to delete over 6,000 votes. The Election Commission called these allegations unfair, especially those against the CEC, since Gyanesh Kumar has taken over that position barely 6 months ago. EC further said that it had flagged discrepancies in this Karnataka constituency of Aland and the fact that there was an FIR that was already filed, that these deletions didn't happen in the first place. And to bolster their claim, they said that the seat was eventually won by the Congress. Rahul Gandhi has responded to that EC fact check as well. He asked why the CID investigation into that particular case was being blocked by the CEC. Meanwhile, the political fight on the sidelines continued. In fact, Rahul Gandhi, like I said, alleged that there was an attempt to delete 6,018 votes in the Aland constituency, to which the EC said that this was an unsuccessful attempt as far as deletion of voters went back in 2023. Rahul then alleged that certain mobile numbers that were used to delete these voters were numbers from outside of Karnataka, to which the Election Commission said that no vote can be deleted online by any member of the public, only the Election Commission can do so. Rahul Gandhi then alleged that Karnataka's CID, which was investigating this, had sent 18 letters to the poll panel in 18 months, but they had gotten no response. The EC then said that the FIR was already filed by the Election Commission in this attempt, and it was only an attempt and an unsuccessful one at that. Rahul Gandhi and Congress then alleged that these vote deletion attempts were being made by centralized call centers, to which the Election Commission pointedly said that those who are affected, those whose names are deleted from the voter roll, are heard before a final list is ever made out.
18 times in 18 months. The CID of Karnataka has written to the Election Commission for this, and they are not giving it. Why are they not giving it? Because this will lead us to where the operation is being done. January 24, Karnataka CID writes to ECI again and says, please send us full information. No answer. Now this is absolute solid proof that Gyanesh Kumar is protecting the people who are doing this.
आप ना शपथ पत्र देते हैं, ना सबूत देते हैं, आप केवल आरोप लगाने का काम करते हैं। इसका मतलब कांग्रेस का भारत के लोकतंत्र में, संवैधानिक संस्थाओं में, इनमें विश्वास नहीं है। केवल अराजकता फैलाना, अनरेस्ट पैदा करना और भारत को डिस्टेबलाइज करने का एक षड्यंत्र टूल किट गैंग के माध्यम से।
The Election Commission had already responded. Now the Karnataka Chief Electoral Officer has also replied to Rahul Gandhi, and there are certain rebuttals that the state EC has made. It has gone on to talk about the Aland constituency and the election there in 2023, where 6,018 voter deletion applications were filed. What the EC has now said that the verification was found genuine only for 24 of those cases, that 5,994 were rejected. It then goes on to detail the timeline of what exactly transpired, of the FIR that was filed and the investigation that was conducted thereafter. My colleagues Harish and Arunima join us on this broadcast, getting us more details. Harish, this is a point-by-point rebuttal that has been put forth by the state EC?
Absolutely. The Chief Electoral Officer stating that contrary to the claims by the Congress, the Election Commission has provided all the details sought, and in fact this was handed over to the Kalburgi SP. This is much before the CID took over the case. In fact, the CEO giving out details on what has been provided. He's saying that not just the epic numbers of those who were deleted, mobile numbers and also mobile numbers used for login, the OTPs generated, the software application medium, and even the IP address was shared with the Kalburgi SP, and they are saying there have been multiple meetings, including with the cyber security experts of the police who were reviewing this investigation. So the CEO is saying that all possible details that the EC had to provide to the investigating agency has been provided. But more worryingly here, Poonam, is the fact that the EC is saying more than 99% of these deletions were fake. And worryingly, the CID of Karnataka is yet to get to the bottom of this case. Neither has the EC found out who really went ahead and generated or put in these requests for deletion, mass deletion of roughly around 6,000 names.
Right, Harish, stay on with us. Arunima, on expected lines, we see the BJP using this to target the Congress party, specifically Rahul Gandhi as well. And the Election Commission had made it very clear that A, this was an unsuccessful attempt, and B, that irrespective of the claims that the Congress is making, the Congress candidate actually won there.
See, Amit Malviya on behalf of BJP has just put out a social media post where he has said that on expected lines, Rahul Gandhi has been exposed by CEO Karnataka, and he has then gone on to say, this man has openly said that it is not his responsibility to defend India's democracy. He's a leader of opposition, he's a constitutional position holder, so there is a lot of onus on him. But let's go point by point what CEO Karnataka has said. CEO Karnataka says that they did receive application in the Alnad constituency. There were 6,018 applications received, asking that these 6,800 people's names be deleted from the electoral rolls. So because these applications came in from various apps and social, they came from electronic sources. That's what Rahul Gandhi alleged as well, that there seems to be involvement of some kind of a software or some kind of an electronic source. That's what CEO Karnataka says, that NSDP, VHA, Garuda apps used by Election Commission officials received these applications. A field inquiry was carried out because such a huge number of applications were received, and out of all the applications, only 24 were found to be genuine, in the sense 24 applicants were no longer living at their place of residence, so their names had to be deleted. All the other appeared fraudulent, and therefore an FIR was registered. All of this is fine by now. But the last part of Rahul Gandhi's allegation that, the CID of Karnataka, which is probing this matter, had repeatedly sought information from EC, and that information has not been provided, to which CEO Karnataka says that after providing the requested information, meetings were also conducted by the Chief Electoral Officer with the investigating officer, the Cyber Security Expert of review the progress. So CEO Karnataka negating the charge being made, CID is not getting the requisite help from the Election Commission officials or the CEO Karnataka. That charge has been dismissed summarily.
Right, Arunima and Harish, thank you so much for getting us the latest on that front. On to our focus on the right stand now. A video posted from the official handle of Assam BJP a couple of days ago snowballed into a controversy for allegedly presenting Muslims as illegals. The video, titled Assam Without BJP, shows several people, men especially, in skull caps everywhere from tea stalls to the airport to several other places across Assam. The AI-generated video ends with a message, choose your vote carefully, suggesting that the state would be overrun by the minority community if the vote wasn't cast carefully. The Congress then asked the Election Commission to take note. They filed a police complaint as well now. The video was shared by the BJP with the tagline, "We cannot let this dream be true." Now, this is a term that has been coined by the BJP on social media. There are several posts that have been made. The Chief Minister of Assam, Himanta Biswa Sarma, has also alleged that several within the Congress, including Gaurav Gogoi, was a Pakistani stooge. But the Congress has reacted sharply on this. Several of these actions and words that are produced by the BJP IT cell do not have the strength to scratch the surface of the Assamese society, said Gaurav Gogoi. He in fact then went on to talk about the kind of politicians the state deserves, and he said that's not what the BJP stands for. This has of course now triggered massive controversy both in the state of Assam and across the country. But given that the state goes to elections next year, is this going to be an issue that becomes a vote issue now? That's something that we'll open up to our guests. Tuhin Sinha, national spokesperson of the BJP, is with us. Mahima Singh, spokesperson of the Congress. Anand Ranganathan, author, joins us as well. Tuhin Sinha, this is Islamophobia by the BJP, says the Congress, says the AIMIM, say all of your political detractors.
Well, good evening, Poonam. Good evening, everybody. What the video essentially depicts is a takeover of Assam by illegal migrants. And it's a fact which everybody knows, but the Congress lives in denial. Way back in 1949, on 7th May 1949, the first Chief Minister of Assam, Gopinath Bordoloi, had written a letter to Nehru saying that if illegal migration is not stopped, it will, damage the demography of Assam. Right from that point to the mid-70s, when the student movement, Assam student movement, was unleashed only to arrest illegal migration, and then right up to 2014, when successive Congress governments again allowed illegal migration, the situation had been worsening. Situation improved slightly from 2016 onwards, where present Chief Minister and the previous Chief Minister from BJP took several steps to arrest illegal migration. Today, the population of the minority community stands somewhere around 37% in Assam, largely because of the unabated influx of illegal migrants over decades. And if we were not in power, we believe that the dangers have been allayed by about 2 decades. If we were not in power by today, which is in 2025, possibly the Muslim population would have been very close to the 50% mark. And what bothers us, we are not worried about a particular community growing so much in the country. What bothers us is that this population is driven by planned illegal migration encouraged by the Congress party over decades.
Mahima Singh, why is it that the Congress has such a soft corner for those who are illegally in Assam? There is demographic change, that's a fact. If this video is meant only against illegals and illegal infiltration, then why is it Islamophobia?
Jai Hind. Poonam, first of all, let me enlighten your viewers and the BJP spokesperson that during the Congress's tenure in the country, before 2014, 90,000 illegal immigrants were identified and deported from India. Today, the situation is quite the reverse, because illegal immigrants from India are being deported from the US to India in a criminal manner, forced to eat beef on US Army planes, and our Prime Minister keeps mum. And here is the BJP spokesperson, in a way testifying, in a way justifying what the BJP Assam has done. And let me, chronologically take you through the ingredients of that video. It is playing out on your screen as well. It is shameful that the BJP shows the honorable leader of opposition, who represents 60% of the voters in this country, in such a shabby light. They are portraying him and Gaurav Gogoi ji, honorable MP from Assam, and that will be absolutely unacceptable to the people of Assam, that the son of their soil is being portrayed in that manner, in that disrespectful, demeaning manner, with a green background, saying Pakistan link party. They can't even spell party properly. And let me just, now say they're talking about beef. I already told you, Indians were forced to eat beef on US soil at behest of the Indian government, at behest of PM Modi. Now they're talking about illegal immigrants. I think the BJP should hang its head in shame, because they are running the country for the last 11 years, and now along with their allies, with this churai hui government, and they talk about illegal immigration. They have not been able to identify a single immigrant. Who is controlling the international borders, Poonam? You must ask that of the BJP spokesperson. I think the answer is very clear. So if the BJP cries illegal immigration, they must answer, what is the government doing about illegal immigration? It is the central government, the BJP government, the Modi double engine government and triple engine at some places that should answer how is that illegal immigration happening. And what else can be expected of
But do you agree then that this video is about illegal immigration and that changing the demography? Is that what you're saying, that you're agreeing, that you're conceding to what the BJP is saying?
You see, what I'm saying, Poonam, I opened my statement by telling you what the Congress's stance on illegal immigration is and what we did when we were in power. What the
But
BJP
that's not what the video says anyway.
To answer. Rather than gaslighting, Poonam, let me just finish what I'm saying. It is for the BJP to answer rather than gaslighting, rather than spreading hate across the country, rather than showing that Guwahati airport, of which Adanization has been done, will be taken over by Muslims. They are not talking about illegal immigrants solely in that video. What they are showing is their true blue hatred for the Muslims.
Tuhin, I'll come back to you. Tuhin, I see your hand going up. I'll come back to you. But Ranganathan, the issue of illegal immigrants, the demography being changed in specific parts of Assam, that's a fact. There are statistics that back it. There are several court orders, several court observations that back it as well. But isn't then it's a fair question for the Congress and everybody else to ask that if you are talking about so many illegals having come into Assam, into India and changed the demography, then what has the BJP government done?
Good evening, Poonam, and good evening to my fellow panelists. You know, this is the tragedy of this country. The Congress spokesperson previously, I wish he had stuck to facts and not shrouded them in the rhetoric that she did, because she is absolutely right on facts. And this country demands facts, and I've been crying this horse for about 10 years. The fact of the matter is that to tackle illegal immigration, this present government has done precious little. In fact, in the last 10-11 years, only 4,500 illegal immigrants have been legally taken or, thrown back is the very wrong word, but deported. Let's put it that way. The fact of the matter is that UPA built more border, fenced more border than NDA has. So, had she just stuck to facts, I would have been with her. But unfortunately, the rhetoric comes in because she also, not her, but Congress has to appease the political vote bank. I hope and pray, but it's never going to happen, that this matter was considered apolitical, this matter was considered religious agnostic, and this was a national security matter, because Poonam, just give me a couple of minutes, it is. Illegal immigration is not just a ticking time bomb. It is now a hissing time bomb that can explode any time. It has three devastating consequences. Number one, security of India. The loyalty of these immigrants, of course, lies with the nations from where they have come in. And if these nations had harbored terror, God help us. Number two, it is a massive drain on our meager resources that are meant for Indian citizens. Did you know 150 million Indian children are out of school? 34% of Indian infants right now are chronically malnourished. Our resources are primarily meant for us. And three, and this is most dangerous, changing India itself. Let me explain. In 2005, in fact, it was the UPA that proposed urgency in dealing with illegal immigration. The then Home Minister said he feared Assam could one day have a Bangladeshi Chief Minister. Shashi Tharoor said 20 million illegal Bangladeshis are present in India. In fact, he alluded them to being termites. In 2005, Mamata Banerjee called it the scourge of illegal Bangladeshi migration. But the moment they are out of power, they indulge in anti-India bombast. Is it not a fact that tens of millions of illegal immigrants will result in demographic shift? And why are people finding this talk of demographic shift uncomfortable? Or, Poonam, have we reached a stage where we cannot even state facts? Is it not a fact that a particular religious denomination is increasing compared to others? Look, if you were to take as starting point the premise that all religions are exactly the same, then there is no issue. Because under that premise, if one religious population can be the majority, why can't be the other? But the fact is, all religions are not the same. Some religions exhibit predatory, supremacist, exclusivist views and practices. The truth is, if such a religious denomination becomes majority population, it becomes very quickly a dictator of social practices upon others. There are some schools in Jharkhand right now that have Friday as a holiday instead of Sunday. We've seen what happened in the Kashmir Valley. The sitting chief minister then even called for stoning as a punishment like Sharia. We have seen the state of homosexuals and atheists and women under the majority of such religious denomination. Atheists are condemned to death in 13 Islamic countries. Homosexuals are caned, women discriminated. That is an issue for India. Look, just 30 seconds. Changing demography shifts a government's decision towards appeasement. Whether it be changing Ramdhenu to Rongdhenu, opposing CAA, appointing Muslim on Tarkeshwar Temple Board, providing midday dining hall to only those schools having 70% minority students, curtailing time duration traditionally for Durga Puja. What we have in demographic shift that is achieved in Muslim majority area, Hamas terrorists are streamed live to deliver speeches in Kerala. Terrorists like Nasrallah are celebrated. Tens of thousands who can't even point out Lebanon on a map. Poonam are mourning the death of terrorists in Kashmir. Why? So please, let us stop being ostriches. This is a national issue, not a party issue. Because the sand is no
and it should be a national issue, because like you said, it does affect India's security. It changes India who India is at all. But Tuhin Sana, the problem with this video is, and that is the point of discussion right now, is that it doesn't identify that you're talking about illegal immigrants. It has Gaurav Gogoi in it, it has Rahul Gandhi in it.
Well,
that seems to be the objection.
Does the video mention any particular community? It does not.
Well,
It
the
basically
imagery
shows
is quite
illegal
evident.
migrants
The
taking over
the imagery is
streets
quite
of
evident. Wouldn't
Guwahati.
you say that, Tuhin Sinha?
Tuhin, can I just take 5 seconds
Sorry?
to give a fact? Tuhin, if you don't mind.
No,
Sorry
no,
to
no, I need to move ahead because I have something else to...
Yes, go
Yeah,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry,
Go
what-
ahead.
What were you asking?
Yeah.
Tuhin, I was
just
saying-
wanted to fact that
See,
BSF,
you know, repeatedly
BFF has said that
repeatedly you end up
95% of
asking
all
what
illegal
have we done.
immigration.
Let me quickly point
Sure.
out the 4 things which Assam government has done to curb illegal migration, which no other state government has done. We have gone back to invoking the Immigrants Act of 1950. So now a district magistrate can identify based on papers, the district magistrate can identify illegal migrants and pack them off without going for a judicial process. We have linked Aadhaar to NRC, so only those people are qualified to get Aadhaar cards who have applied, who have registered themselves in NRC. Only those who are above the age of 18 are being given Aadhaar cards in Assam. You have seen the eviction drives, you have seen the increased surveillance, all of which are tweeted by Honorable CM every time, you know, the illegal migrants are caught on the border. So there are many things which have happened in Assam, and the same need to be replicated in Jharkhand, the same needs to be replicated in Bengal, in all other states. So far as Assam is concerned, Assam is delivered because, like I mentioned, if it were not for the last 9 years of BJP government in Assam, the situation would have been far worse. We have allayed the demography takeover, the demography distortion by a good 2 decades for now.
But Tuhin Sinha, you still haven't answered my question. The objection was that this doesn't specifically talk about illegal immigrants. That you have Rahul Gandhi and you have Gaurav Gogoi portrayed in that video.
The pictures
What's
are
to
very
say that
clear.
you're not
You
talking
travel
that
to-
you're not
you travel
talking
to
about Muslims
Assam,
in India who belong to
you
India, who've
travel
decided to stay in
Assam.
India?
No, we have not mentioned any community, but you travel to Assam and the visuals very clearly reflect the illegal migrants who are taking over the streets every passing day, and that is a big danger to the country.
Sure, Mahima Singh, so then is this a damned if you do, damned if you don't sort of a situation? I mean, you said what has the government done, what has the BJP done, both at the state and the centre, for if illegal immigrants are there. But if they take those SOPs, if they put those SOPs in place, if they take action, then that's a problem as well.
You know what, Poonam? First of all, the BJP spokesperson has absolutely evaded the question about the Honorable LOP. As a responsible BJP spokesperson, you know, who's also representing the government in a way, he should have come clean on that one. You know, this video portrays Rahul Gandhi ji and Gaurav Gogoi ji in a very bad light. You know, what they are trying to portray. Do they mean it? And if they do, then the FIR will take care of that. We hope so. Now, I want to draw your attention to this news article, Hindustan Times, August 21st, 2025. Dhaka fumes at Awami League opening offices in India. By the way, the BJP supporters sitting on your panel masqueraded as a panel as a.
Let's not
analyst.
take personal spot shots at anyone. Please, let's just make your point.
I would. You may advise me against. I would, and you may have as many.
Please make your
objections to
point.
it.
Please make your point, Mahima Singh. I have very limited time left.
Dhaka fumes at Awami League opening offices in India. MEA says it's misplaced. And, you know, the External Affairs Ministry spokesperson, Mr. Randeep Jaiswal, comes forward and says, well, Indian government is not aware of any such anti-Bangladesh activities. The Indian government was not aware when upheaval happened in Bangladesh, when Sheikh Hasina along with her leaders, you know, came to India in a self-exile. Now they are talking about illegal immigrants, such an ill-informed government, talking badly about a certain minority community. Are they trying to say all the illegal immigrants are just Muslims? Are they trying to brand illegal immigrants? They have not been able to answer. How many illegal immigrants have they identified and deported? Because they don't have an answer to that. But they must answer. Why are Awami League offices being opened in Delhi and Kolkata? Why is the government unaware of it? Why should the government not answer that Awami League now is, you know, they are talking about infiltration. Awami League has started it.
But Mahima Singh, when you ask why one community is being blamed for this illegal infiltration, it's because the numbers support it. Because if you see the kind of rise of Muslim population in some of the border areas or border districts, it has risen exponentially. So there is a reason to believe that it's only one community.
Poonam, exponentially is a very generic term. Let the government tell us how much illegal immigration have they identified, how many have been deported. I am asking a categorical question supporting your agenda. Can you get an answer to that, can you get an answer to why the Awami League office is being opened in Delhi and Kolkata? Will it support immigration or will it aid illegal immigration? Or will it curb illegal immigration? You only answer that. And if you do understand where am I positioning my question and where is it targeted at, get an answer on your show.
Tuhin Sinha unfortunately has left the show, but Anand Ranganathan, go ahead. You had a point to make.
Of course he would. Obviously, he has left.
Yeah, no, one
Because
he had another engagement. He made that very clear on the show, Mahima Singh. But you made your point. Let Anand Ranganathan respond, please.
Yeah, but to be honest, I don't mind personal jibes by Congress leaders on me. I'm used to it, and I suppose that is to be expected from Nepo dynasts and Nepo kids who get into Congress and are subservient to Rahul Gandhi. But the fact of the matter is, when we just deal with, not with semi-literates on the panel, but with facts, what do the facts say? The facts say that overwhelming illegal immigration is carried out to such an extent that most of them are Muslims. You look at the BSF figures provided. 95% of those that the BSF has tabulated as illegal immigrants in the last 10 years are Muslims. So, either we deal with facts or we deal with the opinions of Congress stooges or Rahul Gandhi's sevaks. But we have to deal with facts out here, and the facts are also crying out that when the BJP, in addition to Congress, identified 20 million illegal immigrants from Bangladesh, when Mr. Amit Shah in 2018 said we have not only done it, we have identified 4 million of them, then the government needs to answer why in the last 11 years only 4,500 of them have been deported legally. It is a logical answer, but I'm sure, this would be shrouded by personal attacks by stooges, so I don't really mind it. These are Nepo kids, forgive them.
Sure, so there have to be answers that come to the fore from both sides, but it is a fact that illegal immigration has ensured that there is some amount of demographic change like in states like Assam, and there are facts to back it. There are Supreme Court judgments and orders and observations to back that as well. And that is a threat that we must ensure that we look at, take seriously, and of course take action. But I have to leave it there. I thank you both for joining us here on The Right Stand. And speaking of what's happening in Bangladesh and Nepal, in our neighborhood and illegal infiltration, my colleague Anand Narasimhan in fact had a very special conversation with security analyst Lieutenant General D.P. Pandey, and he spoke about exactly this, or what happens when the army meddles or the army gets in when the situation goes completely awry, like we've seen recently in Nepal, earlier in Bangladesh. Does it listen to the government? What happens to the voice of the people? Listen in to this exclusive conversation.
Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to yet another conversation around defense. We will look at Bharat, the region, and also Bharat's outlook with respect to securing its own future. The developments around us, where in less than 48 hours, an entire elected government and its entire system was overturned, and that happened right in our extended neighborhood, that is Nepal, which is second skin. There is a roti beti ka rishta between Bharat and Nepal, and nobody was none the wiser. Were there people who had alerted that something like this will happen? Is there credence to that? And if we were to draw parallels on what happened in Pakistan, what happened in Colombo or in Sri Lanka, what happened in Bangladesh and what happened in Nepal, the forces were out there. But what is the role of the forces? What does the army do in such a case? Does it listen to the government that's in place? Does it listen to the supreme commander? Does it listen to the voice of the people? What are the choices they have to make, and whose instructions do they follow? So let's try and understand what goes behind the scenes also, because in a sense that's also important from a national security perspective. So with us is Lieutenant General D.P. Pandey, former GOC 15 Corps. So General Saab, I've set the entire premise for this conversation. So how would you see, is there a pattern A, and then the role of the individual armies, personnel in uniform, when something like this happens? Unko pata hota hai kuch ho raha hai, or is it as sudden as it looks?
Okay, so I'll start by saying that in 20th century, technology was boon. 21st century, technology is turning out to be a bane, right? So what was supposed to be created, innovated for supposed to be larger good of people is now quickly being weaponized. And there are a number of things, but I'll today talk of shaping of narrative, media, social media. I'll just give a quick example. Hiroshima, Nagasaki happened. The entire education system narrative shaping took place by the Americans, who defeated Japanese by killing millions of people there in these two,
Yeah.
So one point they said that we wanted to cut short this thing so that larger number of people don't die. Right? The people who would have died were soldiers, but here they killed innocent civilians. They justified it in any
Correct.
case. The second is that they also, over a period of time, the Japanese mindset started believing that because their military and their people leadership, they brought upon themselves on their people through their expansionist this thing, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. And today, I was there in Japan about a year and a half or 2 years back. The perception on the street is that uniform is not liked, is hated, right? So look at, in just about less than 100 years, the mind of the people have been changed to start believing that armed forces is not good. We were wrong. Rather than questioning the Americans that why did you bomb the civilians? Shaping of mind used to be slow, steady over a period of time. Today, it doesn't take too much of time.
It doesn't take 100 years.
100 years. It takes an incitement and excitement. With the youth and Gen Z coming about, brought about on a daily stipple of news, viewpoints, excitement, incitements, are slowly, while they may not experience near-death situation, they may not be participating in construction activities, but they definitely have started believing on the empowerment that we can rebel, right? And the most dangerous is when you are stuck onto your earphones and to mobile, from that small little world, you go out and you express your anger out because pent up. Very quickly you realize that things have gone out of hand.
Well, on the sidelines of his high-level meeting on investments in the UAE, we got Piyush Goyal ji. First up, you've set up a tough target. बहुत बड़ा target है, जैसा अभी आप कह रहे थे, $100 billion 3 साल में non-oil, non-mineral resources. ये क्या achievable है? मैं यहीं से शुरू करते हैं.
प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की एक विशेषता है कि वो ना तो खुद कभी छोटा लक्ष्य रखते हैं, ना अपनी टीम को, अपनी पार्टी को, अपने सहयोगियों को और भारतवासियों को छोटा लक्ष्य रखने देते हैं. वो हमेशा हमें प्रोत्साहित करते हैं, लक्ष्य बड़ा रखो, उसके लिए बेजोड़ मेहनत करो, उसके पीछे टूट पड़ो. तो वो जैसा शाहरुख खान का डायलॉग है ना, किसी चीज को बड़ी शिद्दत से चाहो तो कायनात भी आपका साथ दे देती. अब जब हमने सीपा किया, फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट यूएई के साथ, तब लक्ष्य रखा था $100 billion इंक्लूडिंग ऑयल एंड प्रेशियस फ्रूट. हमने 3 साल में कर दिया. किसको नहीं लगता था इतना होगा. तो अब आज सोचा है कि अगले 3-4 साल में हम नॉन ऑयल नॉन प्रेशियस मेटल $100 billion करें.
तो यानी कि यूएस के साथ डील थोड़ा शिद्दत से नहीं चाह रहे हैं आप, क्योंकि कायनात वहाँ काम करती हुई नहीं दिख रही.
ऐसा आपको गलत फहमी हो रही है. बड़ी अच्छी सार्थक बातचीत चल रही है. अभी असिस्टेंट यूएसटीआर आके गए हैं, अच्छी चर्चा हुई है, ठीक दिशा में जा रही है. और मुझे लगता है कि भारत और यूएस नेचुरल पार्टनर्स हैं, मित्र देश हैं. हम दोनों के बीच संबंध एकदम मजबूत है.
So you are hopeful of visiting Washington soon?
वो तो जब समय आएगा आपको बता देंगे.
Okay, the other big thing is the Bharat Mart. Now, how soon will that be a reality? क्योंकि ये 2-3 साल पहले you had come and talked about it.
That will be a unique opportunity. Actually, we had never thought of something like this for ever. It was only during one of my high-level task force on investment meetings that this issue came up. And I was quite intrigued by the concept. I visited the place at 11 in the night in Jebel Ali Free Trade Zone, where the Chinese have a similar UV mall. It was quite an impressive concept. We got into negotiations and discussions, and I'm happy to report that land has been allocated for Bharat Mart. DP World is implementing this project. Connectivity is being created. Metro is coming up till that place, very close to the new airport. Highway connectivity is there. It's on the Dubai Abu Dhabi main road. there's a port connectivity, and there'll be showrooms in the front, warehouses at the back, and we'll have Indian MSMEs particularly, who would otherwise find it very difficult to showcase their products all over the world, can come to this Bharat Mart, take a small showroom and showcase, for example, ceramic material, textiles, home decor, shoes, leather products, and Pashmina shawls, all our ODOP products, handicrafts, handlooms. Small places, 200, 300 square foot they can take. They can showcase their products. In the warehouse, keep stock. Buyers come to Dubai as a kind of sourcing hub from all over Africa, Central Europe, other Middle Eastern countries.
Fantastic plan, but 2029, 2030 तक इसको fructify होता
ना ना, उन्होंने तो टेंडरिंग कर दिया है और पहला फेज 22 लाख स्क्वायर फुट का या 25 लाख स्क्वायर फुट का 2 साल में तैयार हो जाएगा।
हाँ, तो यानी कि 28 तक होगा, तो लोकसभा 2029 से पहले भारत मार्ट इन
ठीक नहीं है, 27 तक ही हो जाएगा।
27 तक ही हो जाएगा, वाह। एक और प्रश्न आपसे मैं पूछना चाहूंगा, IIM के बाद, IIT के बाद IIM, नाउ IIFT इज ऑल्सो कमिंग। UPI रेमिटेंसेस कब से हुआ?
UPI रेमिटेंसेस में हमारा सेंट्रल बैंक, रिजर्व बैंक और उनके बीच जो कनेक्टिविटी करनी है, उस पर काम तेजी से चल रहा है और मुझे विश्वास है कि जल्द पेमेंट्स यहाँ से रेमिटेंसेस हो पाएंगे, सस्ते भी होंगे, फास्टर भी होंगे, इफेक्टिव भी होंगे।
एक है जो एक्सपोर्टर्स, खासकर टेक्सटाइल्स की आपने बात की, तो कई सारे एक्सपोर्टर्स हैं जो कि US टैरिफ को लेकर के थोड़ा सा चिंतित हैं और उनका सामान अटका हुआ है। तो भारत एक मार्केट है, क्या UAE के थ्रू अन्य मार्केट्स भी हो सकते हैं? कहीं ना कहीं UAE को यूज करके US में भेजने की बात है।
सब वही मैं भी स्पष्ट करने जा रहा था जी। मैंने बड़े स्ट्रिक्टली, बड़े कड़े शब्दों में सभी निर्यातकों को, एक्सपोर्टर्स को कहा है कि भारत ना तो कभी भारत की धरती को गलत काम करने देगा कि कोई और देश का माल भारत आके US जाए, ट्रेड डाइवर्शन हो, ना भारत का कोई निर्यातक कोई और देश से भारत का बना हुआ माल अमेरिका भेजे। तो हमारी विश्वसनीयता हमारी सबसे बड़ी ताकत है, तो किसी हालत में नहीं होगा जी। लेकिन बाकी जो अन्य देश हैं, अफ्रीका के देश हैं, खाड़ी के बाकी देश हैं, ईस्टर्न यूरोप के देश हैं, वहाँ पे मेड इन इंडिया प्रोडक्ट, मेड इन इंडिया छापे के साथ कई लोग आते हैं UAE और यहाँ से खरीद के लेके जाते हैं। उसमें मुझे लगता है कि कोई आपत्ति नहीं है, वो तो अच्छा ही होगा और भारत मार्ट आने के बाद तो वो और सरल हो जाएगा। वैसे भी मेरे साथ टेक्सटाइल की, लेदर की, फिश प्रोडक्ट, मरीन प्रोडक्ट्स की, अलग फार्मा की अलग अलग डेलीगेशंस आई हैं। बहुत बड़ा डेलीगेशन आया, बिजनेस डेलीगेशन, और उनकी यहाँ चर्चाएं चल रही हैं यहाँ की मार्केट को कैप्चर करने।
सर, 2 फाइनल क्वेश्चन, समय आपके पास अल्प है, इसीलिए व्यवसाय नीति पे ये पूछूंगा, आर दी इंडियन मैन्युफैक्चरर्स रेडी? आप तो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, इतना अपॉर्चुनिटी क्रिएट कर रहे हैं, $100 बिलियन का एक्सचेंज, but are they ready to bite? Are they showing the keenness to make this happen?
Looking at the increasing demand in India, Indian manufacturers and foreign investors who want to come and set up in India with their innovative products, with their manufactured products, they are very keen. They are looking at the large 1.4 billion, 140 crore की market छोटी नहीं होती है. And now with the recent reduction in GST rates that Honorable Prime Minister has approved on 3rd September, which will be implemented from 22nd September, first day of Navratri, we expect to see a significant increase in consumer demand. Everything that we use in day-to-day life will get cheaper. So there's going to be a big thrust to consumer spending also. On the one hand, we have infrastructure spending, which has a huge multiplier impact on the economy. Now consumer spending, and you are well aware as a business and economic expert that economic growth, and all these developed countries have seen economic growth on the strength of these twin pillars of
Co-presented by This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
के प्रायोजक हैं अग्रवाल पैकर्स एंड मूवर्स लिमिटेड, मैन विद द कैप, कॉल 9300 300 300।
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
के प्रायोजक हैं अग्रवाल पैकर्स एंड मूवर्स लिमिटेड, मैन विद द कैप, कॉल 9300 300 300.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
के प्रायोजक हैं अग्रवाल पैकर्स एंड मूवर्स लिमिटेड, मैन विद द कैप, कॉल 9300 300 300.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
के प्रायोजक हैं अग्रवाल पैकर्स एंड मूवर्स लिमिटेड, मैन विद द कैप, कॉल 9300 300 300.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
के प्रायोजक हैं अग्रवाल पैकर्स एंड मूवर्स लिमिटेड, मैन विद द कैप, कॉल 9300 300 300.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
के प्रायोजक हैं अग्रवाल पैकर्स एंड मूवर्स लिमिटेड, मैन विद द कैप, कॉल.
Rahul Gandhi has launched a sharp attack on Chief Election Commissioner Gyanesh Kumar once again, accusing him of siding with forces undermining Indian democracy and shielding those involved in vote theft. The leader of opposition cited Aland constituency in Karnataka, where he alleged that a targeted attempt was made to delete 6,018 votes. The Election Commission has called these allegations unfair, especially as CEC Kumar took over just 6 months ago, not when these elections took place. EC further says it had...
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Rahul Gandhi has launched a sharp attack on Chief Election Commissioner Gyanesh Kumar once again, accusing him of siding with forces undermining Indian democracy and shielding those involved in vote theft. The leader of opposition cited Aland constituency in Karnataka, where he alleged that a targeted attempt was made to delete 6,018 votes. The Election Commission has called these allegations unfair, especially as CEC Kumar took over just 6 months ago, not when these elections took place. EC further says it had flagged discrepancies in that constituency won by the Congress and filed an FIR. On the accusations of vote rigging, BJP leader Manjinder Singh Sirsa has come out dismissing them, accusing Congress of not accepting defeat.
What does the operation look like? In Aland, 6,018 applications were filed, impersonating voters. The people who filed these applications actually never filed them. And we will show you evidence of that on this stage. The filing was done automatically using software. We will show you that. Mobile numbers from outside Karnataka, from different states, and you can see on the map, from different states were used. Delete numbers in Aland, and it was done targeting Congress voters. So this was not random. We will show you again that these deletions were specifically targeting booths where the Congress party was winning. Here is example number one, lady called Godabai. Someone created fake logins, deleted 12 voters, attempted to delete because then this was stopped. Godabai, of course, has no idea.
Election time is ಅರ್ಜಿ ಹಾಕಿಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಇಲ್ಲ
So the question is, whose numbers are these? How were they operated? Where were they operated from? Who generated the OTPs to disturb the process? Now these are questions that arise out of this.
न कानून समझते हैं, न सुप्रीम कोर्ट के आदेश को समझते हैं, खाली संविधान किए रहते हैं। 14 से बोल रहे हैं कि सब मोदी जी की जीत फर्जी है। क्या मतलब है इसका? कुछ समझते हैं आप? राहुल गांधी इस देश की जनता का अपमान कर रहे हैं। राहुल गांधी इस देश के वोटर्स का अपमान कर रहे हैं। जिन्होंने नरेंद्र मोदी को इतना वोट दिया, जिताया, तो अब नहीं समझते हैं कि जनता फिर जवाब देगी। कोई बम ला दे, जैसे एक फुस हो गया ना, पटाखा निकला कर्नाटक वाला, ये भी फुस हो जाएगा।
Let's go across to my colleagues Pallavi Ghosh and Shireen Elizabeth, who've been tracking the latest on this. This is a long-running war, Pallavi, between the Congress, or particularly LOP Rahul Gandhi, and the CEC. It almost seems like he's targeting the current CEC.
Good evening, you're watching Brass Tacks. I'm Zakir Jacob. Rahul Gandhi, the leader of the opposition, is back with his vote chori allegations yet again. This time he has squarely blamed the Chief Election Commissioner Gyanesh Kumar of acting at the behest of the ruling party and adding and deleting names ad nauseum. As per the victory chances of the BJP, he cited Aland constituency in Karnataka, where 6,000 odd votes were blocked or sought to be blocked. And then he's also cited the Rajura constituency in Maharashtra, where 6,800 odd votes were added. In both those cases, he says this was done at the behest of the BJP. It was done by the EC. It was done via remote by some kind of a mobile call center that was based outside these states. And he has given 7 days notice to the Election Commission to respond to this. Now, the interesting thing is, one of these seats, Aland, the Congress candidate won. The other constituency,